Hello again, everybody. This is Dan Clouser, and welcome back to the Journey of My Mother's Son podcast. Sandy and I join you again. It's been a long time since just the two of us, have done a podcast. It's been a long time since I've actually released a podcast, going back to, I think, the second week of September when Mike Connors and I did our podcast at the Dream Center. So lots of things have happened in that amount of time. I haven't done a lot of podcasts because one of the things we wanted to do on this journey was have an opportunity to meet people and help tell their stories. And unfortunately with COVID, that hasn't really been the case a lot. So it's been Sandy, me, and Uke kind of on our own right now quite a bit. But I've had a couple people who've said to me about, hey, when are you releasing another podcast? And I was like, well, I'm waiting for guests. And they're like, well, you have Sandy right there with you. Why aren't you guys doing more just together? So here we are. Honey, thanks again for joining me.
You're welcome.
We are now in Maine at the Stoney Brook Recreation Center campsite, which is in the western part of Maine. Since our last podcast, when we were on the Blue Ridge Parkway, we've been back to Pennsylvania in Sullivan County. We've been in Texas and Louisiana. We have been all through the fall here. We've been in New England, been
Tennessee,
back to Pennsylvania
Kentucky,
again.
yes.
So all over the place. So, honey, I guess what's one of the things you're enjoying most about our journey thus far?
Goodness.
I'm not sure what's so funny about the question.
You put me on the spot again. I don't know. I don't like doing these, that's why. I don't know. I know I try to do my journaling at least every time we stop somewhere. And like today, it was pulling back out the map that I coated with a highlighter to see our route, and then I was comparing it to the journal, like it's not going right, so I had to go back and pull the atlas out then too, because it gets confusing after a while.
Yeah, we've seen some
so many different spots.
This leg of the trip, we've just seen some absolutely beautiful fall foliage, without a doubt. I still think, the two biggest highlights since our last podcast for me have been the Dream Center, obviously connecting with Mike and Vilma and those guys down there was just a really awesome experience, and helping Jenny and Lori and the folks at SC3 with some of the hurricane cleanup. And then since then they've actually been hit with another Hurricane Delta, in that same area. So we continue to pray for them and hope that they can just stay focused and kind of help out through that whole process. So can't say we haven't met some people. Obviously it wasn't appropriate to do podcasts with Jenny or Lori or any of the other awesome people like Maggie, Diane, or Paula during cleanup. That just wasn't the appropriate time. So it's just you and I right now.
Right. Actually, I know one thing that isn't the highlight, because I wanted to see a real live moose, and I know we
saw 4 moose yesterday
that are not real. They were statues. That doesn't count. Sorry.
It should count. It's a moose.
No.
That one looked really real.
And the others definitely didn't, but no. I know we saw one probably 8 years ago when we came up to Vermont for a wedding. And that was neat. But I wanted to see one again. This time to get a picture, not
as
a
long as
picture
we-
with an RV in front,
Yeah,
attached
as long as
to
we
it.
didn't see it with the RV, with the hood of the RV, I would have been okay with seeing a moose. But we went through many, many areas
For
where it
moose
said
crossing.
moose crossing and moose collision area. So obviously we backed off the speed a little bit in those areas, so that we could react if need be.
Yeah.
And luckily we didn't have to.
I know.
We've discovered Harvest Hosts. We've had
Love it
two
so
really
far.
cool stays so far. Place in New Hampshire.
Unity Meadows.
Called Unity Meadows, where we got some organic beef and bacon, and
It was steer and pigs. Yeah.
you clubbed that place because we had a huge field to roam in off lead.
With electric fence around it, but he didn't get zapped.
Yeah, he met some cows, and
He crossed
then
in their
it,
territory too, without getting them to scoot him out.
yeah, he figured out how to sneak under the electric slinky that kept the cows from coming right up to the RV. We then stayed at a place up outside of Burlington, Vermont, called Sam Maz's Farm Market, which was pretty cool as well. And there we were in between corn maze and petting zoo.
And their farmers market.
Uke went over and discovered the goats and the steer that was there, and the pony and the donkey, and seemed to adapt to them pretty well. So, and I would think Uke is actually having a blast. He loves all the new areas. Every place we get to, there's a new smell for him to discover.
Right.
So I'd say he's definitely enjoying the journey for sure, above all. Trying to think. I mean, like I said, we've done so much since our last podcast.
We've done a lot this last in the past week. We've done a lot.
Yesterday we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 3 different states.
We actually we just did it. We've been doing a lot of like going into little towns that have little general stores and just taking that all in. I know a lot of the Facebook pictures I posted, I hope people are not tired of them. They're of either the mountains, the trees, the rivers, just a lot of outdoor stuff. So I hope people aren't bored with that, but I just find it beautiful in nature out there.
Yeah, so from here we head over to Bar Harbor, Maine, across the state. Probably about a good 4 or 5 hour drive. Weather's going to be a little iffy. The place we're at right now, the Stoney Brook, is really awesome. Unfortunately, it rained all day today, but we've really been fortunate with weather, where we haven't really had a lot of bad weather at all.
We've had actually maybe 3 to 4 days total in the past 2 months.
Yeah, we've had
rain.
Up here in New England, we've had some chilly nights. We've had to been running the furnace and burning some propane. But I mean, yesterday it was 74, 75 degrees, and the day before that, when we were up at Lake Champlain in Burlington, it was beautiful as well. Probably 65, 70 degrees there. You got to walk through a little bit of the shallow parts of Lake Champlain. I think he really enjoyed that as well.
It's beautiful.
So we're really enjoying the trip so far. We'll head down through Massachusetts, hit Cape Cod. My Aunt Linda suggested the cliff walk in Rhode Island. We weren't sure if we'd be able to make it, but on her suggestion, we've been able to kind of
schedule that in.
Yeah, schedule that in as we head from Cape Cod back over to Berks County, and then the end of the month we'll be in Berks for a little while, about a week or so. Finish up at friend Billy Staples' event in the Bethlehem area. It'd be kind of neat for us to get out to a nice dinner and get dressed up. Makes me justify the fact that I packed a tie and a nice button-up shirt and pants. So that'll be fun. We were hoping we'd be able to have breakfast or lunch with Bill Lee while we're up in the Burlington area. He's in Craftsbury, Vermont. And unfortunately, he was, what do you say? He was actually down in the Cape when we had called. So we only got to talk to him on the phone while we were driving down Interstate 89 on our way into Maine yesterday, but we will definitely connect with the spaceman at some point in our travels for sure. He is a trip, to say the least. We've known him for about 10 years. He did some events back in the Big Vision Foundation, Berkshire baseball days. So top-notch guy that I really wish we would have been able to get together with, but just chatting with him on the phone is a good thing. He gave us a couple book recommendations while we were on the phone and told us about book he's in the process of writing right now. So what else, honey? What else do we want to tell everybody about?
We spent a lot of, well, I shouldn't say that. We spent more money than we thought this week.
I don't think so.
We went to Sugar Bush. We ate.
Well,
we
spent money on
things that we don't
some
do.
higher prices on food that we normally probably wouldn't have bought. And we bought like, I don't know, 46 pounds of cheese or something.
No, we didn't. It wasn't even 3 pounds.
9 gallons of maple syrup.
No, we got maple syrup and
I mean,
we've been having to get some like
the prices at Mazza's and at Harmony were a little bit higher, but it's all organic stuff. It's great stuff.
It is.
It's healthy stuff for us at the
we
end
didn't.
of the day.
I mean, you bought one sweatshirt so far. I actually bought 2.
Oh my goodness, my sweatshirt was from Woodstock. We didn't even talk about that. We went to the Woodstock Festival site.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Woodstock. We actually went to Sugar Bush and purchased the cheeses and the maple syrup that's made right there. We went to, what else? Billings
Farm Museum.
Yeah, toured that. So those are the things that we spent money on that we'd never do again, probably, or maybe.
I had a really good lunch in Woodstock, Vermont. We went to 2 Woodstocks. We went to the Woodstock Festival site, which is actually in Bethel Woods, New York. And that was awesome. I mean, obviously, if anybody doesn't know, I am an incredible lover of music, and the entire Woodstock Festival just fascinates me with the...
It was me, too.
Just everything about the festival fascinates me. Watched a bunch of documentaries on it during COVID. So to actually see it and stand on the stage, walk around the festival site and walk through the museum, if it's something you can work into your schedule, Sandy and I would both highly recommend it for sure. They got plenty of parking, and they actually do shows up there. Got an amphitheater now. We actually parked in the wrong spot first because they've got a huge parking lot with just RV parking, which is really only for the shows.
And we were there before actually the museum opened. So.
Yeah, we got there a little bit ahead of time. And so then we just moved from the RV concert parking area up to just in the museum. The guy had told us just to take a couple spaces and we'd be in good shape. But yeah, that was an awesome experience.
It took probably, 4 hours, 5 hours?
Yeah, we were there
because we did the in and outside, and then we ate lunch there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there
in the store.
Actually, yeah, because we didn't leave till like 3, because then we got up to Rip Van Winkle around 5.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was definitely worth it to spend the day there. And again, just really cool, kind of being able to feel the history and that sort of stuff. So.
And then, yeah, we did a lot. I mean that. And then Woodstock, we had walked around afterward and went into. They have a lot of little stores because it's a town that has little shops like the old-fashioned way.
Right, and this is Woodstock, Vermont. Now we just shifted states for you.
We went into the Champlain chocolatey or chocolate place.
Just like Champlain chocolates, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
We missed Ben and Jerry's twice. We drove past it twice through Waterbury, but they don't open till noon. And each time, I think one time we were going through around 9 in the morning, and the other time, actually they were both probably around 9 in the morning.
Yeah, it was. And then we also tried to do the Green Mountain Cafe, which is very close by, almost next door. They were closed because of COVID, and their visitor center was also closed. And when we were trying to get out of the parking lot, I turned and I'm like, there's a Keurig factory right over there too, which was fascinating. So I think they are in cahoots with the Green Mountain. And I think that's correct too, from everything I've seen. But yeah, we've done a lot of sightseeing this past week. So a rainy day is a good day today because we catch up on computer, emails, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one thing that Wi-Fi at campsites is challenging at times. Still, the best Wi-Fi we had was in Tennessee at Clayballs. Wi-Fi here has been pretty decent. It goes in and out at times. That could be as much for the weather as it is anything else. But, if you're at a campsite and you got good Wi-Fi, you're in pretty good hands, in my opinion. But if you don't, it just limits what you do. But I think that's also a time where God can say to us to just unplug a little bit and listen. So we've definitely been able to listen to him. We actually walked from New Hampshire to Vermont at the Jacobs Brook campground.
I'm really bouncing around on this one, I know.
Yeah, this whole podcast is nowhere near being in chronological order.
We should have looked at my journal for that.
But Uke loved that as well because it was about a probably 5 or 6 mile walk all total round trip. We just walked across the Connecticut River and grabbed lunch at a little food truck that was along the side of the road. And it's definitely been an adventure for sure. So just about out of time, honey. Anything else you want to mention? Like I said, we did bounce around.
We did bounce around a lot.
Quite a bit, but...
No, it's just as much... I never thought I would like journaling as much as I do. I think because I have something to really write about. It's not the best spelling sometime in the book, but hey, I'm enjoying it. It's my time and my quiet time, so...
So maybe there'll be multiple authors after this journey.
You never know.
So, all right. Well, everybody, be sure to check out our other blogs and podcasts at danclouser.com. And for myself and Sandy and Uke, we will definitely be moving on and traveling here, and just keep following us, and we appreciate the comments on our posts and people telling us that we're living their dream, but by the same token, if it's something you ever want to do, just do it. Just do it. So honey, thank you again for joining me on this podcast.
You're welcome.
We will,
as much as I don't like them, I just have a little spurt of laughing when we start because it just feels so weird sometimes.
You'll be an old pro soon. So, all right, folks. Again, like I said, check us out at danclouser.com. Honey, thanks again for joining me.
Yep, you're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.